Okay, we live. We are live. And it's recording in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, welcome to the Non-Intuitive Beat podcast brought to you by the Leaders Club. That you are actually part 2 if you're listening to us, but as usual do consider elevating your membership by joining our Discord channel. And today in this virtual studio we have Dmitry Manaikov. Say hi to people.
Hi everyone.
And what?
Oh yes, you need to. I think you need to finish.
Oh yeah, yes.
I forgot that part.
Absolutely, no worries. Yes, and the second, the most annoying voice would be me, Slava Kavlevsky. Now, go for it. What do you want to say?
No, just usually when you play opening music, I hear it, but not this time.
Ah, okay, I know what's happening. Yeah, it's noise cancellation. So I forgot to switch it off because by default it will literally cut any music or anything. I switch it off, so now hopefully.
Okay.
So how are you doing, my friend? You have the main topic to share.
Which one?
How was your visit to the most interesting event of the year?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Burning Man.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. I think I need to make a disclaimer. I wasn't doing full Burning Man because usually people go there for 9 days. I have a coworker who went there for 9 days. I was only 3.5 days. Then I boiled my finger with hot water and I decided that I probably need to see a doctor.
What have happened? Why did you boil your finger with hot water?
I was trying to open a coffee maker, like a small mocha pot, and I couldn't open, so I get a genius idea to wear gloves, for better grip. So when I opened, hot water spill on the glove, and I was taking off a glove and it take time, and hot water get to pretty deep through skin. It was pretty stupid. Yeah, but overall, Burning Man was very amazing, and I never been there. It was my first time. And overall, I think I was impressed because I expected less from events. I also expected it to be much harder to be in a tent in the desert, and it wasn't really a big problem. I really love it. I really want to go next year, if possible.
I would love to go with you. So yes, next year. Next year, let's coordinate.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool experience that I can't really tell everyone should do it, but I think if anyone has a means to go there, in time and money and or live not so far, that's really a good experience to see.
Nice. Okay. Anything particular that you like? Something, one or two things that you have observed there and seen there, whoa, that is it.
I think in general there's so much things to see, and that's the thing, there's so many things. You can spend the whole day looking to art, some performances, partying, relaxing, doing all kind of stuff, and it seems it's never ends. And when you look at map and list of activities, you just realize even if you 9 days there and you not sleeping, you still can't really visit all places. But there were a couple of funny things. One was a Thunderdome where people were fighting, not real fighting, just with this. It was a show, so you can sign up and have a duel with someone with a soft swords or something. A lot of really cool art, and what's interesting, people were constructing art even in the middle of the Burning Man. So it's not few days. Sometimes you see. You think you already seen almost all of it, but then next day is more to explore. A lot of music, a lot of really nice people, interesting people, everyone's friendly. Next time I really want to go there, and next time I want to get a better costume, because this time I was wearing very regular clothes, and I was this is me who is like look like a freak here because I'm really like not in a place with these clothes.
So they all were special. So what's the deal there? Like everyone was wearing something unique and special. Is that the case?
Kinda. It's not like completely crazy stuff. Like like even like a small things. Like for example, my friend, he just have a hoodie that his daughter paint. So it was like looking like pretty like funny.
Got it. Okay, well, next year definitely let's coordinate, and would love to go there for sure, 100%.
Okay.
Do you have any preference about the next topic? Otherwise I will just go one by one. We have a ton of that, but yeah.
Let's go with ML while I'm still like can think.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to mention, two actually. One is old feature that got created in Notebook ML. So there is these things, Notebook ML from Google. I highly recommend people to try it out if you have not. The concept of this product, okay, I'm typing it incorrectly, so let me quickly... Notebook LM, google.com. No, that should be Notebook. LM. Notebook LM, not ML, LM.
Learning machines or what?
I guess, I don't know. But Notebook LM Google, so at least I can show the pictures. So the whole idea there that this is a platform that helps you to learn particular things. So you're adding their data, as much data as you want, and then you're charting around this data. And the concept was actually quite cool and quite interesting. It allows you to kind of create the agent or custom GPT, you might say, just by giving several links, uploading several files, putting stuff together, and it will just learn and will be able to communicate with you. But by itself, this feature, it was amazing when it got released, but now that everyone, Gemini and GPTs already have files, it's obviously less appealing. I completely forgot about this product. So when they release a new feature, podcasting, I completely missed that feature. Like, oh my God, it's something, I don't know what even that and like how it plays to Notebook LM.
How does it work?
Yes, so that's the right question. So you give it an article or any material, so same concept, any material you want, and it generates a podcast of two people discussing that material. I actually prepared for our show. I converted one of my articles about building generalizing product to a podcast. I'm going to play you just 1 minute of it. Let me find the timing, just 1 minute so you get a sense, because it is amazing. I just realized you can go like even further and make a political debate, presidential debate by any random two people. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's actually a good point. So let me play 1 minute. Let me know if you will not hear anything in 2 seconds.
Proceeding with it.
Exactly. And that means understanding their needs, their pain points, their goals.
So it's about ditching that fear of uncertainty and really embracing the iterative nature of development.
Exactly.
So it's not just about saying, hey, we're customer centric, right? It's about actually baking that into the entire development process.
100%. And I think one of the things Kovalevsky pushes back on really strongly is this idea that we should be afraid of over-optimizing for one customer.
Right. Like you're going to build this thing that's so specific.
Exactly. But his point is, isn't that preferable to building something generic that nobody wants?
It's like that whole trying to appeal to everyone and ending up connecting with no one.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's
like, I don't often listen podcasts in English. And if someone gave me like, oh, here's like a podcast, I wouldn't really spot that it's like AI generated. It's like, it's kind of, we're getting into place where like a lot of content will be AI driven. Mm-hmm. And it will be very hard to spot like which one is. Like music is already, like with the Suno AI, I think it just like make like old literature and old content more valuable. That Matrix was created by humans with a bit of 3D graphics, but that's it.
Yeah, that's 100%. And for me, honestly, I already tried at least once with one of the interesting articles, the one topic that we're going to discuss later tonight. And when I was driving, I literally converted on the podcast and start listening. It is amazing. It's much better than just give the article and convert it to voice to text to voice, text to speech.
I'm actually curious, like why it's better. Like, what does it give you?
So there are several things. Actually, I don't know. The short answer, I really do not know. For me personally, subjectively, it feels more engaging because something, I don't know how to explain it, but the text is not as good if you just vocalizing it. Mm-hmm. Even the best audio books have a different voices. Mm-hmm. And I think there is something appealing of have a dialogues. That is the first thing. The second thing, what this thing actually emulates for me, they are asking questions. They probing exactly what, when I was writing the article, I would want listener to probe. But when you're writing it in the way to stimulate those probes and then to find answer. But when you're listening to this doesn't work that way. You need to have these questions from someone answering, and it's way more engaging.
I actually think like something that on a middle ground can actually also be great. For example, many articles or like tech documentation can be very like boring on reading and boring. But if you get it like to maybe not in a way of podcast dialogue, because like maybe reading it in a way like changing sentences, like changing how it's like wording a bit, so it's like more easily to listen, like nicer to listen, but still like follow article mostly like more precisely.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, today I have an article about the NVIDIA NV72, and that's the whole thing is technology, and the only thing you can read is specification. So we're going to vocalize observation about those specification, and that's what hopefully will be interesting to people. Hopefully, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
And the second thing around the AI world that is amazing is O1 model from OpenAI. Have you already played it? I know you asked me about this model, so I know.
No, I canceled my subscription 2 months ago, and I didn't know. Like, I wanted to start new subscription again, but I didn't know if they will give me O1 immediately, because I've seen it. They give it only to some people.
Oh no, they're starting this week, everyone.
Okay, so I can subscribe and try it.
Yep, all subscribers plus all teams and enterprise week after, but yes, literally everyone. So yeah. So just for listening, so for some reason you don't know what is that. So OpenAI have released a model O1. This is a model that effectively emulates the chain of thoughts. So before you have to do it yourself, and now it's under the hood doing exactly that. It's iterate on the answer until the answer getting better and better and better. So it's effectively taking much longer to think about the answer. At some point it will decide, okay, this is a good enough answer, it'll give it to you, but it will take time to think. Because of that, there is some limitations, not capable to browse the internet, not capable to call the actions, so you cannot use GPTs with these. But nevertheless, if you wanted to think something through, it's a really, really good model. I honestly start using it by default if I do not need any actions or any internet browsing. I don't know why not to use it.
I've seen another limitation on Twitter. I don't know how true it is, but if you try to ask it how does it work, you can actually get banned.
Really?
Again, I don't know, like maybe it was a hoax and like people some crazy, but I've seen like someone receive email from OpenAI, like half automatic, but like, hey, we're trying to be like not expose this model or something. Probably just like a joke, but it was fun.
Yeah, the funniest thing that I have seen, which I also have not tried to reproduce, but also have seen, is someone saying to the model on the video, go and burn as much tokens as you can and say something short. And it like takes 200 seconds, and it said, okay. Yeah, it was just hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what to say else about this model. I highly recommend it. It's really good. And you can do, literally, honestly, you can do the same thing with almost any other LLM provider. If you will just implement a thin wrapper that will ask several questions consequently. But the beauty is here that because it's doing under the hood, I need to double check. I need to see the pricing, because this might be actually cheaper. The way how they're doing it, I don't know how, but it might be cheaper than you emulating it yourself. But I haven't seen pricing yet.
Did you try it for any not coding task, but rather, like some coding related tasks?
No, I tried a very short thing to implement HTML site. It did it slightly better, but it was not real task. It's just for fun, to try several things. So yeah, I have nothing to say. What about you? Oh, you haven't tried the model yet.
Yeah, I just tried like with a simple question. So I can't really decide if it's good or not. I will try it for a bit. Maybe it's time to cancel Claude subscription.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
It feels like now it's like subscription to Netflix and HBO. You're like, oh, there's a new TV series, so I cancel my HBO, start Netflix. Once I'm done, I move to something else.
Man, the analogy goes even further. You know how you are applying to internet providers and might give you HBO for free? Mm-hmm. Now Apple gives you OpenAI for free subscription.
Oh yes,
yes, it's actually working this way.
I actually have a topic about iPhone 16.
Are you also pre-ordered?
Yes, I will today, later.
I already beat you. I did it.
I just wait for my discount.
What do you mean wait for discount?
I will tell you after show.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like the released iPhone, which is pretty much the same. I think like the all Apple updates are more like, if you didn't update iPhone for 3 years, you can do it. If for 1 year, probably you don't. But I'm curious to see how they implement AI. But they're really lagging behind. They won't really give you AI on a release date. So you're kind of buying it for promise of AI.
That is true. This is actually the great decoupling that have happened in Apple, where they finally decoupled hardware that they're releasing and software with features that will be delivered. I don't remember any cases like that before.
There is a problem with particular release. The problem is that hardware is not that interesting. Like, I mean, it's interesting if you have like very old phone, right? But if you like have iPhone 15 Pro, there's like very small margin on like why do you need to update, which is usually not the case. So they try to push AI as this like killer feature, but it's not even ready. I don't think they intentionally did it. I'm pretty sure it's just not ready.
That's true. I agree with you. By the way, my iPhone is not that old. It's iPhone 14, so it was like 2 generations before. But with iPhone 14, I was doing something stupid. I thought, okay, maybe I don't need Pro. And I went with irregular phone. That was a mistake. That was a huge mistake. I'm looking forward to usual, just top notch, and it will survive 2 times longer than normal iPhone. It's as usually you're trying to save a little bit, and then you end up paying more. It's how they say, wise for a penny but cheap for a pound. That's exactly this time. I'm like, nope, I am going for Pro Max.
I think it's always depends on like features. For example, I was very happy with my iPhone 12 mini, which was like a cheap one, and it's just like it dies 2 months ago. It's like it needed to like survive for 3 more months, and I would be like switching.
So which one have you planning to pre-order out of all of those? Pro, usual
Pro,
one,
which is small one, which is now is not. They made Pro iPhone even bigger than previous year Pro iPhone. I don't know, like one day it just will become iPad.
Yeah, I personally end up pre-ordering Pro Max. And one thing that I'm really looking forward, when I bought 14, as usually, you're buying and then you're realizing, oh, you need that, you need this. One of the things that existed on 14 Pro but didn't exist on normal 14 was the fact that on the iPhone Pro, on iPhone 14, you have USB-C, but it's not a Thunderbolt, so you cannot have external display. And now for a long time now, I really want to try setup where I will be doing a lot of work with iOS device. because I'm a manager, so for me, Gmail, that's my main working machine, Google Docs. And the beauty of iOS device that actually many employers, including mine, allow you to have personal and work account on the same hardware, which is absolutely not possible with laptop and things like that. I will see how it works, and 16 Pro does have proper Thunderbolt, so you actually can attach external display and do some work. I am really looking forward to try it out, but we'll see. Yeah, you were about to say something. Feels like.
We can go to next topic. We have so many topics to discuss. It's like hard to pick. Now you pick.
Let's go to films and games. Okay. Because we can merge another topics there. And I want to start with Grand Tour One for the Road. So this is one of the show that I grew up watching and I love, and it's a show that been around for 22 years, Top Gear from Grand Tour. And today, right now, they have released the very final episode. That's it. That's the end of the road. There will be no more Grand Tour. There will be no more Top Gear. And right now, so after this podcast, obviously, dinner and me watching this is exactly what I will be doing. But first, dinner, of course. It's a very sad moment for me, but obviously I'm excited to see for the last time the new episode of the Grand Tour. Have you watched it?
Is it last episode or last season?
This is last episode of the last season. There will be no more show. They're closing the show.
You asked me like if I tried to watch start. I wasn't super huge fan of Top Gear. Sometimes I watch episode and enjoy it, but I never watch everything. And the same for Grand Tour. I watched a couple of episodes. I really like first one when they introduced it. But never sit and watch everything.
Probably the most exciting one, if someone wants to get it, and for example, Top Gear, there was an episode where they built a mini shuttle out of the car and actually flew it. So it has a boosters, gas tank. It's actually flew, and they attached the wings to the car. Unfortunately, it's crashed because the car did not separate it properly from the tank when it shoots, so it just crashed on the ground. And obviously, they have only one attempt.
So there was the same in a Fast and Furious movie. So I'm curious, who still
ideas from whom? But I'm pretty sure in Fast and Furious that was CGI.
Of course.
Yeah, here it was real.
They actually went to space on that.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the my favorite one. Oh my God, they actually have a Lego for that? Yes, maybe not, but looks like yes. They bought a very cheap British car, very cheap, attaching wings to it, then remote, and yeah, it was really fun to watch. So yeah, if you're listening to us and you haven't watched, now is your time, folks. Go and obviously have fun with it. And last from my side, and then I will give microphone to you, my friend, because the next two topics in this theme and this group of topics came from you. But I have watched the movie Alien. What is the latest movie?
Ramos?
Yes, Ramos, yes.
Oh, please, no spoilers. I still want to watch it.
Okay.
But you can give impressions.
Yes, we'll do no spoilers as you have asked. So let me put it this way: it's decent. So it's decent, and one thing that I mentioned to my friends after we went out and we finished the watching said that, the saddest part that is still the best Alien comparing to anything they did in the last 4 or 5 episodes. So it's, it's not super impressive. It's decent. I like the movie, but it's not something that I would say you must watch. And the sad part, again, because this level is still the best comparing to everything they released before. So it's definitely watchable. I really loved it. And I would recommend, if you like the universe, not because it's a great movie, just because it's the best movie available out there, unfortunately. This makes me a little bit sad because probably there will be a follow-up and continuation, because I'm sure it will do really well in the box office, just because, again, there is nothing that better out there. So yeah, that's my TLDR. So recommend. I would recommend. Where are you planning to watch it?
I actually went when I want to watch it on stream services, so I'm waiting for there.
Got it. Okay, let's switch to your topics. I actually have one more movie to discuss, but I will do it in the end. And you added several to, actually one I added, but I still wanted to hear your opinion. And this is about Space Marines, because I just have installed it. I have not even started it, but I know that you tried it.
Yeah, it's Space Marine is a second part of this like action game. I think everyone's so happy about this game because it goes like to pretty much like old school kill the like aliens with a brutal guys plot, and it seems to be very cool made. There's a few things, like the game has a company which you can play co-op with friends. Then it has additional missions that you can play with friends, and it also has a multiplayer. So, but still you can just play solo like main company and additional missions. I only get through like first few hours. I really like it. First, I'm big fan of Warhammer 40k universe. I'm not like playing games or like collecting figures, but I really enjoy like lore and understanding what's going on. Mm-hmm. And this game actually does a really good job of first showing people who know lore like more details, but also not overloading newcomers. Show newcomers like main parts, and people actually introduce like new topics like gradually. For example, you join as a lieutenant of a squad, and you fight it particular aliens before, and they fight it different. So they ask you like how they behave, and this like talks, they actually give like add some more understanding of lore and what's going on. Everything is super brutal. Like everyone is like very masculine. Like Evans, like there's a women general who is like also looks like very like a hardcore person. And one thing I noticed, like on the PlayStation, like haptic feedback in controller is so good. Like I usually like disable it in the games because it's usually like you shoot, it gives you like some like response to like actions, but here it's done so nicely. It's not just like vibrating on a max power. It's like every weapon, every move, like killing enemies with like the special moves, everything has like a slightly different and some subtle feedback that I actually very enjoyed. For example, like there's like a small pistol like with a fast firing and small rounds, and one is like more like revolver style, and you actually feel the difference when you shoot it. So it's pretty nice.
I obviously don't have PlayStation, but hopefully we'll have soon, because PS5 Pro that we'll discuss also there. But the first time I tried haptic and realized that it was on your PS when I was playing Hitman. I realized that, different weapons actually have a different wall, and almost like shooting in the range, you can feel it. It was just amazing. Yes.
Yeah, plus adaptive triggers that actually change resistance, like for different.
Yeah, that's what I was referring. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm also talking about just like regular haptic. It's really like feels different.
Interesting. And let me ask you several questions. So question number one, do you have to play Space Marine 1 before playing this game, or you can start here?
No, I think it's like it goes like good introducing character. I did couple of like Google searches about lore, like for something that was interesting for me, but no, like it actually does. I don't really want to spoiler, but introduction of character is like super good, like they just like you just immediately understand that he's a badass.
Okay, then the second question, how does the multiplayer works, in the sense that you mentioned there is a campaign, and campaign is, from what I understood, can be played with friends, but you also said that you can play solo. So is it different campaigns? Is it the same campaign, but you can play different ones?
The thing is, the campaign structure is actually a very smart way. I really like it. The campaign essentially is linear. There's like a set of missions, but they goes like one by one, actually showing you plot. You play as the main protagonist. Always on the battlefield, you have two people with you. which
Okay.
controlled by bots. But you can invite friends or random people to replace these two people. So actually they go through company. I haven't played with someone, so I don't know how it looks from their perspective. I guess I just see the same cutscenes as you. But when you play, they behave like after like in a separate way. They have like their own AI. So I can imagine with friends you can do like better coordination if you play on a hardcore mode. What's interesting, like when you play on a mission, like you play one of this like army of space marines, and there are other teams who actually do different tasks. And they, for example, like you're going to infiltrate some particular building, and you need other team to make some other side mission to attract enemies there. And when you go to the side missions, you actually play for that team. So you kind of enhancing your understanding what's going on like a bigger picture on Battlefield. Multiplayer is separate. I think it's like 5 versus 5 or 6 versus 6. And like on separate arenas, not really connected to plot.
Got it. So just classical. Okay. I'm really looking forward to play it with you. So I will try to start, obviously finish the tutorial and whatever need to be finished, and then we can coordinate. And I really like that because I don't play the game often. I'm bad at playing, but I'm really enjoying it. So this experience where you can technically finish 2 to 3 times the same level and then restart it with a friend, so you will not embarrass the friend. It's actually interesting and appealing to me.
I also think it's like it has a good balance. I play on the normal mode, and it's like one of the really well balanced. So I die time to time, but rarely. So you don't feel like you stuck. So game is really like nicely well done. I'll see how I'm still not finished, and I like that campaign is not really long. It's like 10 hours. For me, it's actually perfect. I don't really want to get like really long campaigns.
That remind me Gear of War 6 or the 5, whatever is latest. I think the latest is 5 or 6. I don't know, but anyway, Gear of War, really nice game. Oh yes, they announced E-Day, but the previous one, so really nice game. And it's also have this concept where you have missions and you can play with friends, but additional thing, you can play a split screen. And I played with my wife, and the thing is that each player can set different difficulty. So obviously she was playing on the easiest difficulty, and I was just sending her in front because it doesn't matter what happens, she will not die. And I was on the hardcore from behind. It was super fun. Okay, so coming back to, let me open the list of the topic. PS5 Pro. Yes. What do you know about it already, my friend? Do you know anything except it's got announced?
I know that people are very upset with the price and the console itself.
Why? Tell me more.
Just because it's expensive. $700 for many people, they like, hey, look at it like, hey, it's much more than any other console. But people don't realize, like, first, like by the spec, PlayStation 5 Pro is not a huge bump. If you look at like PlayStation 4 and Pro versions, that was like very strong difference. But it also caused because when PlayStation 4 got released, it was actually behind many PCs. Now current PlayStation 5 is actually up to date with most PCs, I would say. But it's still like the main problem for many gamers is like you usually have a choice. You either get 4K or 60 FPS. And according to PlayStation and also my experience, like you usually choose FPS. Like I don't need like crazy 100 something, but 60 FPS would be nice. And when I choose it, it usually goes like from 4K to 2K, then do upscale. Doesn't look like super nice. And they try to bump it in a way again that game developers or games like backward compatibility should be there, like no huge changes. So bump is pretty minor. It's mostly CPU. They didn't bump memory. I think it still have like 8 gigs of memory or something, not a huge pool. And the stupid part, I think many people upset it doesn't have disk drive. I don't really care. But they don't even include vertical stand, which is for me kind of strange because it's just like piece of plastic that you need to buy separately if you want to make it vertically. For me, it's a good, I want to buy it. Plus, I will probably sell my old PS5, so I'm not like buying for full price. I'm just like upgrading. But I can understand for people who want to buy it, like could be steep price. But I also think Sony not doing marketing very well, because for people who don't have any console and they on a budget, they just don't need to, like, regular PS5 works pretty nicely still. So yeah, but I think it's a good update that I was waiting for a long time. I would like to see more like showcases for games, because they all mostly showcase their own games improvements, but I'm curious how like other studios will handle it. Will it get any like improvements?
I wonder how it developed from the first place, from the start, because theoretically you can give SDK to the developers in the way that will increase FPS just for free. Theoretically,
probably it will. Probably it already will do it in some games, but some may need to adjust. Also, they announced something that NVIDIA is doing already. Essentially, they introduce upscale, but with neural network support. So it's not like just like a stupid upscale when you get like 1 pixel to 2, but they try to be more smart about picture. Again, I would like to see like real picture to see how actually visible, but if it can make games more performant while still having like a good fidelity, that would be really cool.
You know, it's remind me this constant conversation that people were saying, oh, this upscale technology, now you will have a game streaming because you can literally be sending something really low resolution and then upscaling on the client side.
Text explaining.
Yes. But now the console like, oh, but we also can do so. We not only show you the good picture, we can even upscale it to even better. It's just interesting. I probably will be the owner of PS5 Pro. Probably, you know, when Xbox and Microsoft start buying different studios that producing games, I told that all the games will be on the Xbox. And where are they? The best games still on Sony, on PlayStation.
I think they closed many studios recently.
Yeah, that's and the one that's still not closed and not producing anything good, Bethesda, where are you? Like, where is the new game? It's just sad. It's just sad. I don't know. Okay, so we actually more than half an hour. I'm looking if we should take one or two main big topic. Let's go to one about the AI related and NVIDIA. I wanted to share with you folks NVIDIA and NV72 and specifically GB200. So what is that and why I want to share information about this? So GB200 is the first solution from NVIDIA that actually includes the full rack purposely built for AI and data centers with their new GPU B200. So B200 is GPU, GB200 is a rack. What?
Can you repeat it again?
So B200 is GPU, just GPU, right? GB200 is a whole machine.
Okay, now I get it.
So it actually includes things like NVIDIA built ARM CPU.
Interesting.
And on top of NVIDIA built ARM CPU, here is what make it so unique. And honestly, when GB200 will hit the customers, I do honestly believe we will see a huge leap in the size of the models that you will see in the market. And I'll explain why. This is going to be a step function type of the move. Maybe not now immediately, maybe half a year, because people still need to write it and they need to write a lot with the stuff. So what is so unique about this thing? When the GPUs were introduced first time, NVIDIA realized that obviously you need more memory for a bigger model, and they introduced what is known NVLink. NVLink is effectively technology from NVIDIA to connect multiple GPUs within one desktop. So now GPUs can very fast exchange the data. So that enables developers to write much bigger model that are spread across the GPUs, and it was fine. But because NVIDIA never ever have controlled CPUs and other part of the hosts, they never truly were able to implement unified memory. So while you have a fast memory bandwidth in between GPUs, developers still need to write the logic that moves this across the GPUs. You cannot treat memory of 4 or 8 GPUs in the one host as a single unified memory. This obviously creates a much more convoluted and complex development model. Yes, the speed of data exchange is there, but you have to write logic that exchanging the data. You cannot just treat all the memory combined.
Okay, but now they unified it in like big rack or what?
So the first thing that happened is NVIDIA controls the whole machine. So now you have NVIDIA ARM, and you actually have a fully unified memory on the host level. Each host level has only 2 B200, one CPU, but the memory is literally unified. It's shared in between GPUs, CPUs. It's one chunk of memory that you can treat as unified. And the second thing that have happened, which is also groundbreaking, this NVLink that they introduced for communicating between GPUs, for the first time ever, they actually effectively externalize it. So now there is a huge NVIDIA make switches, if you want, connectors. And if we look on this rack, we have a lot of GP200, and then we have a bunch in the middle of effectively switches. And those switches are NVLink that connecting in between the hosts, GPUs between each other. It's full mesh of connecting all the GPUs between each other. And let me see how many of those. I have this article. It's just amazing to outline what's happening there, because I'm constantly forgetting how many nodes, for example, is there. So it has 18 nodes.
So who is the customer, like data centers or just like any business that want to do like some experimenting? Because it seems like a really nice packaging that you can bring like, to put in your home.
It weighs 1.3 metric ton and it consumes electricity. How much electricity consume? 120 kilowatt. Okay. So speaking about the home, I'm not sure that you can power it, these things, but you're right. This is mostly about data centers. So if you're building data center, that is for you, and you can even interconnect those racks into some super pods that will have amazing connectivity in between.
So it looks like we're back to IBM supercomputer era.
Oh yes, yes. Very specific to one particular vendor, closed SDK, closed way of programming. But yeah, we are in this wave of development. But the thing is, coming back to NVLink specifically, because they externalize NVLinks, and NVLinks now connects not only GPUs within one machine, it actually connects many machines. And you have how many here? So they say that you have 18 machines, so it has 36 GPUs. So now you have 36 GPUs in one rack that connected with NVLink. This means that theoretically, and I'm trying to be really careful, 72 GPUs, okay, 72 GPUs. So theoretically, you can now treat the memory of all these GPUs combined as a one big GPU. So this would allow you, again, theoretically, to write the program as if you have all this memory in one GPU. And this is how many? You will have a 1 terabyte memory in one rack effectively, and you can treat this 1 terabyte as one big GPU. And the biggest drawback right now in designing the models, this is the reason why all these researchers in OpenAI have $1+ million per year in their total compensation, is exactly because they're taking this huge model and figuring out how to map it in a small GPU memory that is really small and optimized training process. Now, if we will have a programming model that actually gives you, here is your 1 terabyte of memory, here is your tons of the cores, just use your PyTorch on it. It will simplify the development and effectively speed up the development by orders of magnitude.
And I finally can play 4K 60 FPS.
Yes. Yep. So I actually have a picture. This is the time to brag. I have a picture when I was holding one of these GB200, but it will take time for me to actually find that picture. So yeah, maybe next time. Oh no, I quickly found it. Let me open it to viewers as well. Time for bragging. So this is this GB200, 2 GPUs, one NVIDIA built ARM CPUs in the middle, and unified memory that accessible for both their CPUs, their GPUs, and on the top, that thing is actually NVLink. This is the first NVLink that connects not only GPUs on the VM, but effectively now a networking switch, if you want, that can connect many machines together. So that is it. I looking forward because, again, we as a humanity probably will see the step function bump in the complexity of the model that different players will start bringing on the market. One thing, no, actually, one more thing. I don't think that anyone knows how the programming model will look like. Because when you're combining together 70 GPUs, one of them might be broken. One of them might start behaving in a very horrible way, and you actually need to figure out how to introduce these programming models to the developers where suddenly one tensor, like 20 gigabytes of your memory, disappeared and then appeared again.
Is it kind of the same when you have like a bunch of servers and make them work together?
True, but the thing is, this is not a service. This is more, imagine you need to recompile C++ code, and you need to write C++ code in the way that your variable might disappear.
I see. Yeah, I think I've seen actually that some Linuxes support like hot swap of RAM and things like this. So maybe people just like try to figure out a way.
That is true. I indeed have seen Linuxes support a hot swap, but I don't think they support hot swap in a sense that preserve the program will not be running. Like if you have a memory that is broken, completely broken, the only way for you to survive to crash and reboot your virtual machine, for example. Yes, server is still running, but your VM will have to be rebooted.
I mean, probably will do some people can do something like duplication. You always store like memory in two parts of system, right? Like if one crash, you can quickly reduplicate, like small RAID, but for memory.
That's actually a good point. So maybe you have 72 GPUs, but in reality, you will get API exposure to half, effectively, half of those, and because they all will be replicated.
Or you can do like RAID. Is it RAID 5 when you have like 3 buckets and you essentially like need 66% to store 100? No,
it's RAID 3, I think. I don't know. Actually,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
It's like it's slightly more effective than just like half and half.
Yep, maybe something like that indeed will happen. But then you either will have less GPUs or less memory. One way this can play out, and it's interesting. Okay, so that was one thing that I wanted to mention, and coming back to the topics, let's switch to 3D printer. Really would love to learn more from you. So what are those links that you pointed there?
Oh yeah, so I think the prehistory, like I was always fascinated with the 3D printers, mostly because for me it was like this part of future, like you press a button on Fabricator and it gives you something, like in the games and the movies. 3D printers is like as close as we can get to that. And for a long time I wanted to have one, but I always was put off because they were required a lot of tweaking, knowledge, like you essentially can't really just print it, like a temperature, leveling, a lot of different things that you need to care about. And I didn't want really to spend that much time trying to figure out like how to make it properly. And recently I actually started researching, like, is the situation changed? Mm-hmm. So apparently, like on the market, there are now a few models, and one I picked is a Bamboo P1S.
Oh, it looks like the one that I just opened.
Yes, exactly. It's enclosed printer. It means it has full cover. It has temperature control inside. So it has a cooler, it has a heater, and it's as close to like hands-off experience as you can get. Essentially, like it has a bed that can level, it has a camera that can watch like what's going on, it has like all temperature controls, it's doing a lot of like pre-checks and stuff, And when you start, like, you essentially can send a print and it will print you. Like, it doesn't really require you to do anything. Obviously, like, it's still complex device. It still requires you, for example, I learned that plastics that you use actually can get wet.
Ooh.
So you can't really just store it like on a shelf. Like if you have like a not very dry air, like it will accumulate moisture and then print will be bad. So you need to like dry it. But in general, this is like I already printed like few small things. Like currently I'm printing mostly what I found on the internet. There are a few websites where you can just like find a lot of models and print them. So I'm printing that one. It's printing pretty loud, I would say. So you can sit with the same room, but you probably can't really make a Zoom meeting while printing. So, and another link I put, so someone came up, because one of the reasons I bought, because I really wanted something to start printing custom organizing things, because I really don't like current organizational tooling in my house. Like a lot of things are messy, and I don't really like to buy this bunch of like plastic containers from Amazon, because some of them work, some of them doesn't fit, and they cost money. Like you pay like $10 for something that is like 20 grams of plastic. And a few years ago, someone, I think his name is Zach Friedman, he came up with a very simple idea. He came up with a grid. It's like, looks like I don't really have it's close by, but it's a simple grid, 42 millimeters cell size. And then he made a base from this grid. And then he started making like a simple storage solutions that fit on this grid like easily. And what happens, like he created many like initial details, but then people start creating more and more custom storage solutions for the same grid. And you can find a lot of models for that. So you can print like storage for like small details, for instruments, just like regular bins. But most important, you can even go further. You can design your own things, or you can change something. I've seen like few tutorials how people like for very particular tools, they just make a photo of a tool, put in a cut, make a hole in a block, and then print it. And that's really what I want to do, because for example, like small block, it's like 20 grams. And filament cost $15 per 1 kilogram. So you can print a lot of stuff, like very customized for your needs, for like whatever you're storing. So yeah, I'm experimenting with this one.
No, that sounds super cool. And so just to make sure I understood correctly, to repeat it back, so you effectively have a grid, and are you buying that grid on which you're putting the things? Or?
No, you're printing this grid.
No, you're printing that what you put on the grid.
No, and you print a grid as well.
You print a grid as well. Okay.
And there's like, for example, here's like two. One is like lightweight grid. It's mostly just only borders, and one with a bottom part. And he also designed one where you can put magnets in a grid and in a storage bins easily. And it's also like pretty good. So yeah, you can check a video after, and it's like really describes how it looks. So.
Got it. Well, this is fascinating. And you already tried it. So you already built your first grid?
I have a grid. I actually created a grid. So one problem, I still need to learn like a CAD software, or like maybe use Blender, because I made a grid for one of my drawers, but it's not really 42 millimeters, like, there's like small gaps, so I have to cut it. So I print bigger, then cut it. But ideally, I want to learn how to, like squeeze it properly, to change it in a CAD software, and then print exact design.
Got it. Well, and how long it takes to print overall? For example, this grid, how long you printed?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I have a grid 5x5 cells. And it took me like 30 minutes. Interesting thing that when you have a model, imagine you have like a box, right? There's actually a tool called Slicer, which transforms 3D model to essentially movement, and like how printer will move, how it will feel, will it make support. And that has so many settings. For example, most of 3D printed things, you don't really need to feel like them completely. Usually you want like walls and inside it's like makes a pattern, like crosses. So it's like actually have a lot of empty space inside to keep filament, to increase speed. And you actually can play with this. You can increase thickness, you can reduce thickness, you can make it more sturdy, more like lightweight. Plus it apparently depends on the filament. Some of them requires like fast, like some of them can actually melt faster, so they can be like printed faster.
I see. Interesting. And from the plastic perspective, you mentioned that recently I got exposed to a guy who was doing, he was doing in the house next to us, he was doing adjustment to air outlets. Because he wanted to put a smart air outlets that will be closing and opening these things. So he found a really nice one that he would love to purchase. And our houses has very weird, unstandard outlet shapes. So he printed in 3D printer the layout that you put on top of our house outlets that have a standard output, and then you print this stuff. And then he figured out that some of the plastic in 3D printer are not heat resistant. It's very simple to.
That's actually quite like, just for give you like some understanding. I watched a 1 hour video where a guy goes over all filaments very quickly for 1 hour. There are so many different plastics, and for example, like I use PLA, which is like entry level because it's very easy to print. It doesn't need like a huge temperature, and it's like non-toxic. It's actually made from corn mostly. It's like it's pretty sturdy, but still you can break it. It doesn't really hold like under huge pressure. It doesn't like heat, and it also doesn't like sun, like UV. But besides that, this printer can print other filaments. One is ABS, which is also good, but fumes are a bit toxic, so you don't really want to be in a room when you print. So there are always pros and cons. There are really cool filaments that super sturdy, can like withstand anything, but then they cost a lot, and you need like super high heat printer. So you always like pick between different downsides. I think for my drawers, this PLA is fine, but I'll probably explore something that I want to use outdoors, because my next thing, I actually want to start printing different plant pots. And another use case is lamps. For lamp, especially if it's like a high temperature, not high temperature, but like high watts lamp, it still can produce some heat. So I want like some heat resistance. But yeah, you can find something that heat resistant. So like different things.
Yeah, he eventually found something, but it was fascinating. That was the first time I got exposed to the plastics in 3D printer, and yes, that was interesting. Okay, my friend, how about we stop here? It's an hour. I think it was really good one. Yes, I agree. We have almost 20 people watching right now. So yes, thank you for coming to us. Any last words, my friend?
Nope, it's good. We can go until next week.
Yeah, till next week. See you folks. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.